Hello YouTube, this is Carl. So, with the fact that I'm building a 2022 performance case, I also have my apartment system. I like to call it that. This is technically a home theater PC. This is an in-wing case that is sitting in. I have the smart card reader so I can put the GoPro, SD card in it, maybe other ones for other cameras, USB. Now this shell actually uses USB 3.0 on the front, the audio ports, and it can have a CD-ROM if I gave a crap. So right now it has, I don't know, a very old motherboard. I bought it because it just needs to run Linux. But the thing is, I just keep playing World of Warcraft even there, so it seems that the system's out of date. Now there's a GT 1030 in here right now. So let me get this cover off because it's actually kind of taking two hands at least. So let me get that off and I'll show you it. Okay, so I got the cover off. So yeah, I have Ubuntu 20 on here. The case, it came with a power supply. This guy right here, which is a Powerman power supply. It's probably decent. I bought that Silverstone power supply for like $100 to put in a different case that I couldn't even use because it wouldn't fit in that case. It was just a little bit too big. I think it's Apex D539 or 359, something like that. And where the power supply was, it was actually here. And when I ran this board in that case with the stock power supply, it seemed like the video card was cooking. So in this one, the video card kind of has this power supply sucking the air past it, and also this fan right here is also sucking the fan out. I kind of mounted so the board is upside down and this is the top, so it actually works pretty good like that. The other issue is the fact that, yeah, it's just obsolete technically, old. So I bought a new setup and I'm going to install it. The hard drive was already nowhere already. It actually had a normal, it's not a hard drive, it's actually an SSD. But before it had a hard drive, a 680 gigabyte hard drive. And Ubuntu 20 loads it very slow. When you start the boot and you get to the login screen, it's like 2 to 3 minutes or something. I don't know what the hell takes so long. I don't know why it takes so long. It's like they don't make it optimized for the actual hard drives anymore, and you have to use SSDs with them. The SSD is fast, I'll give it that. Yeah. So this is a Phenom II, AMD Phenom II X6, 6-core, 1055T. Now it runs at basically 2.8 gigahertz times 6. And supposedly one of those cores goes to turbo mode whenever it can. I don't know. I can't really tell it's doing that. I have 8 gigabytes, two 4 gigabyte sticks in there. The GT 1030, the EVGA, it's passive. I like the passive heatsink of it. But yeah, it was getting hot in the other case. The other thing with this board is that since I bought it used, I bought it a few years ago. One of the capacitors I had to replace because it was bulging. But once in a while, it just doesn't, it'll boot up sometimes, and sometimes it will just not do anything. So I got that little, what do you call it, buzzer on there, beep, whenever it turns on. So it actually beeps, it means it posts and it's working. It doesn't, it means it's just doing nothing. And it's been doing that since I got it. So I'm just fed up with this little ASUS board. I believe it's a M4A785M/T, or it's T/M. It's one of those two numbers. I can't really tell what it is because the video card's blocking the actual letters of the numbers. So yeah, I'm going to pull this guy out. So what am I going to replace it with? So I'll show you. So right there, you see a heatsink. Talk about that. Okay, so we got a Ryzen 5 1600, 6-core, 12 thread. It runs at 3.6 versus the 3.8 of the 3730K i7 in there. It even came with a little sticker, and it came with a fan. Now, when I was looking for processors, it seems like most of the people are selling these for like the 1400s, with no fucking heatsink. To sell with the fucking heatsink. It's like everyone has to nickel and dime everything out there. They don't want to sell anything for the right amount of money. If you're going to sell a processor for $50, just sell a stupid heatsink with it. No one's going to buy a heatsink by itself. I mean, I'm not going to sit there spending like $60 on a heatsink that's like used and not even good. Like, yeah, it's good enough for this, but I can buy something much better for $60. Just saying, you know. I might not even use that thing, but at least it came with the heatsink. It even came with a little sticker, the badge. So I'm going to use the badge when I do it. Put that right here. That's nice metal. We got the heatsink. It's basically called a Wraith. It looks like it's fine, but I don't know if you notice the depth of this case. This may not even work. And I don't really know how I'm going to be able to judge it as far as that's concerned. The heatsink that's on there is a heat pipe cooler that barely has enough room as it is, but at least it isn't an Intel heatsink, right? Let's just get a general idea where it's going to be. It might be too big. Like if you look at where that is and try to figure out where the CPU sits. Yeah, it might actually be too big for the case. I might not be able to use it anyway. The backup plan is the fact that I have a Phenom X4 that used to be in there, because this X6 is going to go back in that Linux box right there. And I'm just going to use this Phenom 2 cooler. I don't know. It's probably fine. It's for 25 watts? Like the other one, the other board says 125 watts. So the 125 watt cooler would be more than enough for a 65 watt CPU. I mean, it won't even heat up. I might actually be able to get away with this one. That one is like a little bit smaller than this one. Like that's like 125. This is 100, or I don't know, maybe that's 100 watts, and this is a 125. Either way, it seems like that's still cooling the 6-core fine. I tried to determine if this is better than it. It might be, it might not be, I don't know. But I'm probably just going to use this cooler. Because it has 4 heat pipes versus 2, and it may get loud, but it's a low enough profile that it won't, you know, have a problem. Got some new thermal paste. Got this from Best Buy. I usually use Arctic Silver 5, but that's all I got. Okay, so this is something that's going to go in the new system. I guess I'll just use or I don't know, I'll just put the box right on top of it. So in this box, we have a newer board, much newer board. Usually when people are selling these on Facebook and stuff, they only sell them with the damn case, the box they came in. Like they can't keep any packaging to make it easy to deal with. But this dude in Texas, obviously enthusiast. So it came with this tiny little box. Packed up pretty good. Can't say it did bad. Yeah, we'll just make some nice stack pictures for that guy. I think I'm going to actually retire the board in the sense where I'm just going to toss it in the trash. So it doesn't really matter now. The CPU and the RAM I'll keep things, but I don't know. Anyway, what I ended up getting for this guy is an A320M/A. It is used. It came in this little box. the guy actually gave me everything it came with almost. Driver disk, if I want to run Windows 10 or 11, manual, a nice fresh I/O shield, meaning maybe you just didn't use it, some serial ATA cables, which I can use, and this baby little micro ATX board. And it's actually in a stack-free bag. Something that you don't really see on Facebook Marketplace. Like, I don't know what's the deal, but these kids aren't trained to actually, you know, do shit right. They just put shit straight on the bed. Like, well, I'm putting it right around the bed, but it's still in this. They'll put the freaking motherboard on the bed directly without even any fucking goddamn bag on it. Anyway, this is the back I/O shield. This is the user guide. The disk. Is it sugar? Well, it's probably good to keep these out. Yeah, it came in a nice little tiny box. I like the little box. Anyway, it's called a Prime board. We have DDR4, AMD AM4 socket, an M2 support socket. There's an M2 socket plug thing for one of those goofy hard drives. Now, I don't really like those drives because the fact that the video card sits on top of the M2 drive, basically cooking it, doesn't that mean like it's just going to make it wear out faster or just burn up? I mean, I don't really trust the SSD being right there. I mean, it's probably fine, but most of the time it's usually under the PCI Express slot versus above like it is on this one. So, yeah, I'm still not going to use it on here. Maybe in the far future, but not now. I got, you know, the Western Digital guy. So it has its own video built in, but it's only for certain CPUs. I'm told the 1600 isn't a built-in video setup, like the I guess they're A or G if they have video. I don't know what's the lingo on it anymore. But we have LAN, we have USB ports, 2.0, 3.0, 3.1 actually. It has built-in audio, Realtek. So it's high definition Realtek versus just the high definition audio before. Yeah, so it looks pretty decent if it works. Well, let's see if it works. It should work. So we got the board right here. Yeah, it looks fine when I look at it this way, but yeah, it doesn't have that goofy little plug right there. Yeah, I don't really trust the M2 drives. Now, the new system I'm going to build in the other videos, it's going to probably have like 2 of them on there, and I don't know. Probably not even bothering. All 4 of the RAM slots. Oh, wait. They're like an off gray. Okay, so that's going to be slightly easier. Yes, of course. Like everything, it's black. No such thing as a motherboard that isn't black anymore. And the first thing we're going to make sure is to see if this heatsink will actually go on there. Meaning, like, we'll see if it mounts on there, and then if it does, we'll use it. I'd just rather use something lower profile than that guy. It's nice that came with that, and it probably works fine, but this actually seems to be, I don't know, much better, actually, than just a block of aluminum. Okay, so I'm going to move everything over to the workbench. I don't want to do this on the bed, at least for the video. So, start moving stuff, and I'll be right over there. Okay, so I moved the computer over to the bench. So yeah, we still got to unbox more shit. So, we got is memory that is going to be fighting me to try to do this. Let's open this up and just get installation over. See if now we open it all the way. So they're actually using like some kind of installation bags, like whatever these are, packages. What the hell is it? Obviously more in the middle. Oh, yeah. Take two. Well, at least we know we can isolate a room with a bag. So we got the RAM that they sent into just a little bag. Hopefully the RAM is good because they just like plow right back together like that. It's a simple RAM. I always use like Micron or Crucial RAM for everything that's like a basic system. It's just the most reliable memory. Just drop it right there and see if it breaks even more. So we got the IO shield. I gotta eventually open. We got the motherboard. Got the RAM. Got the CPU. And we just gotta figure out where to put stuff because we don't have anywhere to go. Need this. Okay, so here's the system in question. It's gonna get taken apart. So somewhere in my solution of so down here in the dungeon, we got memory. All different styles. But there should be... There's one. There's two. Things to hold the RAM. As I keep buying it. So what was in here? 1 gigabyte DDR2. Okay, I'll just figure out. Okay, so the first thing is make sure I just ground myself to the shell, or even this, or even the TV, or monitor, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna actually just pull the memory out first, because the memory is definitely still good. The issue I find is that, yeah, the motherboard wasn't turning on right. I could just sell the RAM, just memory to somebody. So we're gonna get that ready. We're gonna ground ourselves again. Or just hold my elbow against the case, because that's probably the easiest way at the moment. Get one stick out, one at a time. It should just come right out. It should be pretty easy not to hold it in the middle, but I guess not. Can't get it on there. Wrong way. Okay. Now these are brand new memory modules. So we're going to try to keep them in pristine condition. Here's one of them. It's just nice if you can do shit at one hand. This is like a pain in the ass. It should just snap in there. There we go. Okay, cover to protect it. Boom. Nice protected memory chip. It'd be nice if like the memory I just bought for the new one was like the same way, but nope. These low feedback people selling stuff that don't know what they're doing. But yeah, so I got 2 sticks of 4 gigabyte memory for anyone needing DDR3. You know, if you have a Z77 board or, you know, other boards that are DDR3. I still have this. Where can I put it? Next one. Open this one. Yeah, so this video isn't intended to be a short video about this. Actually, I don't really have to show you all this. How about, yeah, I won't. Okay, the memory's out. Both memory sticks that were in this are here. I'll start unplugging stuff. So, with that board, it's going to actually need both of these together. So I guess I'll just try to put them together. Now the fact that, like, well, we'll do it later. I'm also going to unplug this one. This is the main motherboard connection that requires a lot of force to pull out, considering that it's just a plug. Man. Okay, well. Okay, so that plug is out. It was a 24-pin plug versus 20. We have other things to pull out. The front I/O, the serial ATA drive connection. That should come out with one hand. We have the front panel audio. Try to pull it via the plug and not the wires. I'd like to point out that everything fights you. The front panel USB, the SD card reader, okay, well, that's just out there. The good thing about the video card is that there's only one thing really holding it in on this case. This is the screw right here. And I'll just put that there. Yes, I'll let you cringe because I just like putting the screws wherever they need to be. Now this 1030 is going to require probably 2 hands to get out. Especially since it has one of those snap tabs. Let me just do something. That wasn't like that, was it? Oh no, this is a snap thing. Yeah, so you got the 1030. I'm just gonna put right here on this static bag right there. Yeah, this board is sold. It actually has PCI 32-bit slots. You don't see that anymore. Also, the board has IDE, and I think there's even a floppy port. Yeah, that thing. No, I don't think there is one actually. It says LPT1. Oh, parallel port. Maybe that's the floppy port. No, this is something else. Maybe front panel. Whatever. So now it's time to get the. We're just gonna take off all this I/O stuff. So this is a little microphone or speaker. I kind of like the speaker to make sure I know shit's working. These are all the power on, hard drive light, system light. And that shit has to go somewhere. This whole front thing kind of flips up, which I might have to do, but I might not be able to, so I'm just going to leave it for now. So the CPU has to come out. This is the 1055T. Undo the lever, and these stupid arm pieces to come out. I'll unplug it first, I guess. The interesting factor is sometimes there are no winners. Okay, I gotta do it with 2 hands. Yeah, so those clips aren't exactly the easiest. This still has Arctic silver on it. This shouldn't be too hard to come off. A nice contact. See, it's still like these thin plates that actually seem to work better than the aluminum. I don't know, like AMD was doing pretty good with their coolers, but like the performance of their CPUs kind of sucked compared to everything else back then. 2010 was like not a good time. So I'm gonna clean that guy up. Some swabs, alcohol, and other things. I'll get that out here. I'm also gonna look for whatever I did with the actual processor holder. I'm not sure what that is. So let me get all that stuff sorted. Okay, well it's cleaned. clean it as best as I can get it for now. It's going to go into the other system behind me. So it still works. So that's an X6 1055T. I don't even know how you know it's a 1055T when you look at it, but when I look at it, I don't even see anything that resembles those numbers, so I don't know. I see Phenom II, yes. That's it. This is an AM3 socket CPU. Hopefully it comes out without bending the pins. And that should be fine. And it's in this little holder, which is static free. It shorts out all the pins on that phone. A lot of people just sit there and like, oh, they'll take a picture, hold on to it. I don't know. The thing I hate about Facebook Marketplace is the fact that it just seems like a reckless place. Okay, so we're just gonna put this right in the box, because that's the box it came with. Yeah. So this got to come out now. It is a timely endeavor. The whole reason why I made the other video in multiple parts, because it takes so long to do everything. It's like, I don't even know. You can't even see what I'm doing. This is magnetic. Nope. Oh, it's great. So there are kind of screws that just are everywhere. I do have a magnet. The magnet makes life easier. So yeah, we got case screws. That mount the motherboard in place. There's usually, what, 6 on the bottom, maybe 5. In this case, there might just be not that many. Guess we'll not use the magnet, because like, use the magnet. So the reason why I'm taking this out is because it doesn't seem to start sometimes. And yeah, it's old, decrepit. Okay, so just need a couple more screws removed. Also got to find the bag for this thing. It still works, it just doesn't work completely right, that's all. Yeah, so it's an M4A785T/M, not M/T. Whatever. I don't know. It has integrated video that was pretty decent for a workstation back in 2010. But nowadays it's kind of like if you're running anything more than 1080p, it ain't gonna work. So maybe I'll get a TV that's doing that, but I'm pretty sure like that won't really work with 1080p or more than 1080p anyway. I think that's every screw. Well, let me get the bag and I'll pull this thing out. Okay, so I got a stack-free bag. I'm gonna just ground myself in the case. I think it's easy to get one in there, but I have to get it out of the case first. So I think the hardest part is probably getting it. Is there any more screws? There is one more screw. Hiding on me. Of course, it falls somewhere where you can't find it again. So we're not going to use a magnet there because kill it a different way. Okay. So all the screws are right here. You can cringe and cringe and cringe, but that's where they're going to go. You know what was interesting about some videos? or I don't know, the like-dislike thing is that there's some people that are just a-holes. Okay, to dislike your video for no reason at all. I don't even know how that came up before. Let's get this front piece off. So I gotta flip this out a little bit to get this out. Yeah, I need another hand again. Okay, took some effort to get that out there. There's a couple of these cables that were kind of held up here to try to get them out of the way, and they had to move. I kind of have to get to this 3.0 cable anyway, so get that ready for action. You know, USB 3.0. But yeah, standoffs are simple in this case. They don't move, they're just there. Take the rear shield off. Actually, just put it in with the board. It's gonna go somewhere. I don't know what to do with it. It's gonna go just sit right here. So now we have the other one. Now, before I even bother to put it in this thing, which, oh my god, it's so heavy, so small. This gives you an idea of how strong that thing is, or how nice it is. Okay, so we have this. Round ourselves to that guy. And we'll examine this DDR4 board. I wish I didn't need more than one hand to get it out of the bag. Okay, so here it is. Here's the board that's going on this guy. It's a Prime A320M-A. Has that M2 slot. Has a 4-pin thing. I obviously gotta dust it off a little bit. It was definitely used. Now what I want to see is if I can mount that heatsink on here. So let me look for the heatsink or other things. Here's the RAM. It was probably not even working. And we have the actual processor and this cooler. I really rather use like a CPU. Is definitely is not worth any money or anything. So as you see, it's kind of dusty. But yeah, first thing I'll do is just, where's the clear CMOS thing? Nah, it's just short. That looks like, man, it doesn't have like the fully functioning thing and stuff. Man, I don't know what you do when you don't have all that gamer stuff. You know, on, off, reset, fully functioning display, all that nice stuff. I don't know, maybe I do like that stuff, but I don't like the all black look anymore. It's just boring. Clear real-time clock. So we'll just hold that on there for a few seconds. And we're going to pull the battery out because we got a fresh one. Well, it's fresh enough. It's a matter of getting that battery to come out. I never really understood this. Guess we'll just make sure we break it. There. Old battery, trash. Why worry about it? Energizer. Yeah, the Energizer Bunny, remember that guy? Okay, so it has a slightly different shade of gray on the RAM slots. So it kind of sounds like I'm going to be using these two. Let's get them prepared. Do they open? Oh, that's weird. Is that how that goes? They got really cheap at memory. Holy cow. Anyway. Yeah, so we got the Phenom 4 connector, that connector. We have 4 SATA ports for normal SATA drives. What is the USB 3.1? That is what I'm looking for. I don't see that. We actually got those. This is 5 and 6. So what is USB 3? This guy? Yeah, okay, I see. It's like they kind of label stuff. We still got COM ports. This is from panel audio, SPIF, COM ports. Why doesn't that go away is the real question. We got rid of parallel ports. Actually, what's interesting, we still have VGA on the back of that thing. It has a display port versus HDMI, which is kind of weird. No, that's actually HDMI. Okay, well, it has to kind of be dusted. Oh, I wanted to test this, so let's test it. Carefully get this chip on here, or out of here. Oh, there's no foam thing in there. That makes you really assured. Yeah, that's the issue when you buy things lately. Okay. The arrow faces that arrow. That makes sense. Hey, is it not working? It's working. Okay. It's in the right. There. Okay, so what I wanted to see is if this Phenom II cooler will fit on here. It doesn't look like it does. Yeah, it should be fine. It's gonna be tight, spring-wise. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna clean that up. Put the thermal paste and shit on it. Maybe dust off the board because it's very dusty. And yeah, we'll start getting this working, or get this assembled. Okay, so we got the processor cooler on there. The Phenom II cooler is a 125 watt cooler. It's like a 65 watt processor, like a mobile processor, might as well be. So where is the RAM that I just had? What I don't like is how people ship stuff and they ship it like that. The primary is going to give me feedback because, you know, let's just let that pompous asshole kid thing. They just don't know what they're doing and they think they're better than everyone. But yeah, it's kind of sticking to each other. That's not good. Okay. So this RAM, for some reason it says red 8 gigabytes. Doesn't say ECC, so that's a good sign. So we're going to use both DIMM A1 and DIMM A2 first. What I don't like about this is like is that this doesn't come out on this one. Like the bottom ones don't come out, but the top ones do. Okay, so I'm gonna just put those RAM sticks in there, so it can run dual channel. I don't know. If the black ones don't work, we'll just use the gray ones. Okay, so they're firmly in there. Both, what does it say? A1 and B1. I'm gonna go by the same colors as one, you know, A and B channel. Sometimes they're both the same color on one side or the other. And then the two black ones like on the other board, wherever it is behind me, like they don't even work. Anyway, I would like to test it without putting it in the board, but it's going to be kind of difficult at the moment. Yeah, we don't have video still. I'm just going to put it in the case and hope for the best. Now, getting in the case is going to be the fun part. And I'm just going to skip to that. Okay, so after a few curses and other things getting all these little wires in, because like there's so many plugs right here now. There's so much crap blocking the fan right here. Like this exhaust fan is kind of just completely useless. It kind of exhausts the air past that stuff, but here it is. Cooler's on. Obviously this wire has to go here because where else is it going to go? There's a lot of spaghetti mess, and it's a tight enclosure. You gotta work with what you got. Now, as long as it's like where it's at, it's kind of against the wall, so it helps with airflow. There's no definitive airflow though, because this is the top fan. It's really the only fan that actually blows any air other than maybe this power supply that sucks the air off of the video card. The CPU sucks out of the side. There's an opening on the side of the case. It's probably going to work better when I'm going to test it. So right now I'm going to move it over to where I normally test it, and we'll see if it even runs. I'm going to go to BIOS. I have to go into BIOS. Make sure I turn off, like, if I even have to turn off the audio. Make sure, like, you know, the M2 is off. All that stuff that doesn't need to be on is off. The case is a very tight fit. What I liked about this power supply is like everything has this nice covering over the wires. But obviously the front CRT ports, they got this ridiculously long wire. That's, I don't know how I'm going to get that to be kind of out of the way. There's just a lot involved with wires. This being bolted here ain't going to make a difference, and either is that. I just did that. We'll see if it starts, so we'll go on the next section. Okay, so we have our test bed. Keyboard, mouse, we're all wired up. What I don't like about this power supply is they don't have an on-off button. For some reason that shit's really fucking bright. What is that stuff? And what does that mean? I don't know. Why is it pulsing? That's a real question. Okay, so power the situation on. And yeah, we're gonna go to the BIOS. The paper works. This has a newer BIOS, the UEFI. I think they went a little bit above and beyond with the BIOS. Yeah, so we have a SATA drive. I don't know what time it is, but it seems to know what time it is. Virus. So, what are we looking at? We see this. It has 16 gigabytes. They're in the right channels. What is that? Oh, it's not overclocking. Fans doing this. Where is the CPU temperature? Okay. Well, it looks like it's post. I don't know how to turn off the lights, so maybe I'll look for that. I don't know what's going on with other things, but that's why we go to advanced mode and look at that. So it's BIOS version 038 2017, 6-core processor, English system 9. Can we change any of that stuff? Security. AI tweaker. So we can actually overclock it if we wanted to, but yeah, we're not going to do that with this. It's ridiculous. Advanced. Let's make sure everything is running. SATA configuration, HCI, smart hot plug. So we do have M2 on there. I'll just leave that on there. I don't know. Onboard devices. HD audio. HD audio. Front panel. This will be fine. LED lighting. Oh, there we go. Still mode. The LEDs will still light up. Okay, so we see the lights. They're not breathing now. We're just gonna say no. Real estate land controller is on. We'll leave that off. Charging USB devices. Oh, we can do that when it's not even on. Serial ports. For some reason there's still serial ports. Guess what? Turn that off. Okay, so this motherboard is a little bit more sophisticated. I can actually probably use something even better if I update the BIOS, as far as you know, RAM or a better CPU. CPU temperature. About where it should be, 36. Temperature, 35. How hot is it in here? Jesus Christ. Pardon my French. Chassis fan. Where's this thing for that? Not using it. We have a chassis fan, yes, but it's kind of working. Doesn't matter. Quiet fan configuration. Leave that where it is. And let's leave that standard. I don't know. I don't even know how fast it's going right now. Yeah, we're not even using the chassis yet. No point even caring about it. I guess I can make the fan change its speed. But we don't even know what that... It sounds like it's doing its normal speed. Boot. Fast boot configuration. Auto. And we'll leave the 3 seconds. Wait for F1 if ever. Open force bias. Interrupt 19 capture. Yes. There's usually like if you don't have a keyboard in there, it will stop. I don't really want to do that. Okay. What that means. Do we have protective mode anywhere there? Secure boot. Yeah, we don't really care about that. Key management. Doesn't matter either. Okay. So as we're sitting here wasting minutes, it's now 50 minutes this video. Ugh. Set up animator. What the hell is that? Doesn't matter. We don't care about that either. This stuff won't work unless you're in Windows. So yeah. Save changes. Okay. So, set up the BIOS. Got it started. See if you guys did load Linux. The beat works. So as I wait for that for 3 seconds. We have the loading screen for Ubuntu. Slowly but surely. Okay, it's already loaded. Okay, so that looks like it works. So the thing I like about Linux is that it's a free operating system. Okay, so we know that it functions. It knows what time it is somehow. Okay, interesting. Let's just see what it does with this. Since I want to see what it does with this. So this is OGR28. It's just my CPU beater. So I gotta do all this crap again. Okay, so you may understand that there's a background. This is the only computer with a background. The background actually is Jamaica. I think this is Niagara Beach, facing kind of Mexico. Oh no, I guess that isn't Mexico. Maybe South America is the way I'm facing. Yeah. So you can see the output of it is there. The cooler in this room seems to be getting to 50 degrees. Yeah, it does about the same output as the 3930K, about 600 million. The fan going a little bit faster would be nice. It's not going fast, it should be screaming. For some reason it isn't showing this on there. So we don't know what that means. What is the label? See if it goes there. Here we go. Okay, so I'm probably gonna have to like make the fan go faster. The cooler is more efficient than the other thing, probably. There's two sensors there. I don't know what the difference is. Thermal control, thermal die. What is CPU? fine. Wait. CPU. That doesn't need to be there. How about just move it? It's still listed. Did I say the wrong thing? There we go. So I got the CPU die, that. So I guess the 54 in here. I can probably tweak the fan to go faster. So I guess it works fine. So my home theater PC with the 1030 in it works fine. I didn't have to do anything. It just loads right up with a new board. Doesn't even like care what you do. Unlike Windows where it just won't start. It's a different motherboard. At least with Linux you can just pretty much just pull the drive and put it in any computer you want and it'll still work. As long as like the video card has the same drivers and stuff like that. Even though you technically don't need that either. Yeah, so I'd say like this is a success. The Phenom II cooler is a 125 watt cooler, so it's more than enough for that CPU. I can make it so the fan runs a little bit faster, so I think I'm fine with it going fast, especially when it's doing something like that. But yeah, I'd say that's successful. So my home theater PC is ready to go. Anyway, thanks for watching that last hour. After it's done downloading, and maybe if you feel like watching the whole thing, I guess you can. But that puts that system together, and now I got the apartment system set up pretty modern. Now, if I see like a CPU like a 2600 or 3600 for like $100, I'll put that in here. But otherwise, a 6-core 12-thread processor is more than fine. And yeah, to make sure there's 12 threads, we'll just look at this. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. 12 total threads. I should probably change that swap. But yeah, they're all running. Pushing out that work unit. So yeah, I'd say that was successful. It's a lot of cores. Anyway, this is that BMX guy, or Carl, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more computer stuff, along with my BMX stuff and other things. Might even have toys. Anyway, all these computers are just adult toys for adult things. Like just wasting time running RC572 or OGR28. Yeah.